everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. We're on part 2 of this John Deere 165 lawn tractor riding mower. Part 1, we got it running. We had a lot of potential electrical gremlins that we thought we were going to have to deal with, and all I had to do was tie a little bit of wiring together. I still need to work on that a little bit, but for all intents and purposes, it is the way that it needs to be. The brake safety switch, I guess that's the one that I had to bypass with the wire nut, and then also the fuse. I guess the fuse holder was messed up. I just need to wire one of those back in them. Again, both are going to be very easy to do. But we ended up finding that the starter and the starter solenoid are good, so that's awesome. Right now, you see we got the fender off of it still. We are diagnosing a hydrostatic transaxle issue. I think it is stuck in the disengaged mode, and we need to re-engage it in order for it to drive around. And once we get it driving around, I think we'll be able to get it cutting with pretty minimal effort. It does need a deck belt, but that's really not a big deal. Again, the 80s. Late 80s, I think, model John Deere, maybe early 90s, I'm not sure exactly the years for the 165. I think they started in 86 for this type. So, like I said, good shape overall. If we can get it running, driving, and cutting, we're going to have a very decent lawnmower, and we'll just roll from there. So let's go ahead and get started on part 2 of this thing, get the hydrostatic trans going on this John Deere 165. So I don't know how well I can show you the transmission, but remember in part 1 we did redo the entire fuel system as well. So that is now good. A little bit of custom action on the pickup tube for the fuel grommet, but we were making it work, or we made it work. It was airtight. The hydrostatic fan also looks like it's been through the ringer. Almost all of the tabs on it have been cut off, which kind of makes me think that I've got an issue there. But the thing, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, right there, it's right in the middle, just under the light. I'm wiggling my thing over it. It's like a little pull tab, and I think it's stuck in the disengaged position, so I need to get something down there to see if I can re-engage it. Let me see. I want to see if I can do this on camera. See if I can get a screwdriver, because I remember the transmission was engaged because it was a little bit of a pain to get it onto the trailer, and then I fiddled around with it and got it to disengage, but it won't re-engage whenever I push it back forward. So it probably just needs some lube on it. So let's WD-40 it up here. And if I need to, I'll move the tank out of the way again, which I think I can do fairly easily. We're going to see if we can get down there without having to do that. See if what we can do here. Tell you what, let me take the gas tank off. I just pull it out here for a moment. It's not going to hurt it. So this right here is what I think, because that's your transaxle engagement lever. I think my head's all in the way, guys, sorry. And I think it pushes this button back. And it's not, obviously. It's either that or I'm missing some sort of linkage. So, but why would that be a stop right there if that was the disengagement? I'm not sure. Let me grab some pliers. I want to see if I can pull on it a little bit. I don't want to have to drain the trans out just to fix it, but if I have to, so be it. Let's try some pliers here. I'm getting it to pull out. That's good. I think I got it to pull out a little bit. Let me see. I think I did. Yeah, it's definitely out a little bit further than it was. Let's see if I can continue to get it to pull out. And once I get to that point, we'll see if I can get it to move for us. All right, y'all. So I don't remember if I showed you or not, but hammer and a screwdriver, I was able to pull out the engagement. I don't know if I'll ever get it back in, honestly, though. But I'd rather it be driving than not. So now it's just a matter of seeing if the thing runs. And again, point it out of your garage. You'll have seen many a times to where I have not done that. And I've paid the price for it. I'm going to get you out here. I'm going to crank it up. And I'm giving myself a running start and an area to run just in case this thing takes off on me. And we'll see if it drives. I'm pretty confident it will as long as the internals of the trans aren't bad. The fluid looks good and is full, so. Go for a ride, why don't we? who needs a seat, right? I'm gonna ride it up and down the driveway. The steering on it's real stiff, so I'm not gonna really be able to hold the camera and all that mess at the same time. Look, listen to how it's smoothed out though. I'm gonna run some seafoam through it. And just cruise around a little bit. And then I don't want to turn the deck on yet because I think the deck is stuck to the pulleys. So I want to free all that stuff up before I do that. But that's a big deal right there, guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to ever disengage the transaxle again, but it drives. Let me go have a little fun. I'll be right back. Alright, y'all, I got to do a lot of freeing up to this deck. The belt hasn't turned in so long that it's basically kind of not melted itself to the pulleys, but it's basically stuck on the pulley. So as soon as I turn it on, it's just going to throw the belt and just shatter it. So I'm trying to avoid that. I do need to put a new one on there, but I just want to get this to the point where I can test the mowing deck to make sure everything is free. So given that, it looks like this is going to be a relatively easy deck to get off. It looks like point number 1, there's a 5-point deck right here. Point number 1's right here. Number 2 is the tensioner, or excuse me, is the height adjuster arm, which looks like it is the same on both sides, but right there. Same deal on the other side. That's point number 3 and 4 to get it off. Point number 5, so this is a 6-point actually. 5 and 6 are just right here on the front. I'm going to go ahead and take those 6 points off. We'll drag the deck out of it and see if we can get everything freed up so that we could get this thing to where it's going to cut again. This is exciting. I did not think it was going to be this easy to get this thing going so far, and the transmission. Wild card is I just don't know if I'm going to be able to ever disengage the transmission again, just because of how rusted on that engagement handle is. I might try and put a wire brush on it, see if I can get it to free up a little bit more. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Baby steps. But we're making good progress. Alright, we're going to grab this thing and pull it out here. I did jack up the front because I kept the arms on it, and that's the only way to really get it off if you decide to keep the arms on the deck, is just jack up the front. That way the arms will clear under the tire. So that's the deck. I think I can see it, right? I think I can. It's a mess right now. It's just a bunch of rusted mess. So that kind of... So that's the tensioner arm right there. And that holds the bottom deck belt on. This is the tensioner for the PTO. So that's really, well, no, it's the tensioner for the bottom too, so we kind of really need to get that freed up. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Not like that though. That's one way to do it, I guess. I wonder if there's a grease fitting under there. I would guess so. Just by the I have to get a heat gun and heat that off. See if I can get that off. But here's the deck belt situation. Obviously, it is very, very bad. But we've got I guess we've got this pulley loosened now. As long as I didn't bend that. So that should mean that we can get this off relatively easily. Like I said, I just want to free up the deck. I'm gonna grab a 7/16. See if these will budge with this 12 volt here. Now they're 10 mils. It's just weird to have metrics on a John Deere. I thought they would be all SAE, but one. Okay. I'm gonna give this deck a really good blow off and a very good cleaning here in a minute. But let's see the deck belt here. See if I can get it off. So that tensioner spring is going to have to come off anyways. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. There we go. That makes life a lot easier. See, because I mean, residue was sticking to the pulleys. Holy moly. Seems like it's frozen up. Woo, okay. I tried to draw a little blood on me too. There's my belt. You can see where it was trying to pull off of the pulleys right there. And the PTO pulley feels like it's seized at this point in time. I think I got a seized PTO pulley. The rest of them seem to be turning freely. That's a good thing. All right. Oh. Yeah, there's nothing I can do under the deck. The blades looked like they were just replaced, actually. Not just replaced, but just replaced before the mower went out of commission. So they got surface rust on them. But I mean, look at the deck. The deck is, apart from a little bit of surface rust in places that you know they're gonna be, beautiful. So the next order of business is, I gotta get this PTO pulley freed up. There we go. Nice. It's just, you know, it's like waking things back up after they've been in hibernation. Alright, so that's good. We got everything freed up. Ooh. Let this deck get washed. And just to get all the crud and mess off of it. And then we'll get back to working on that. Next thing, excuse me guys, sorry. Next thing I want to check is to make sure that the PTO clutch is working. So this is my PTO belt. I think I will be able to save this. This is an M77988 CRT belt. I think that main belt's okay, and I think all the other belts on the mower are okay. I don't really see any other issues going on with belt-wise. But I am going to get down and confirm that the PTO clutch is working, and I'll get the deck washed. I'll order the belt. What I might go ahead and do, y'all saw how I took the fender and everything back off. I don't foresee any reason why I need to get back under the fender of the mower, as apart from trying to get this, but I don't know, because I don't know if I'll be able to even free that hydro engagement back up to the point where this lever is going to work to turn it off and on, because you should just be able to turn it to engage it and disengage it, and y'all saw I had to hit it to get it out. So like I said, I got to do a little bit more buttoning up. We made a lot. Oh, the low fuel gauge even works on it. But we made a ton of progress on this. A ton of progress so far. So I'm going to do all that off camera. I'm going to kind of work on see if I can work on the hydro as well. And make sure that the PTO is working like it should. And we will continue on after that. Alright, it's going to take a second for the carb to fill back up with gas, but let's see if it runs any better now. After I stuck a wire up through, and I was able to get all the way up through the main jet, so I know that it's getting some sort of gas. Much better. Not quite yet. I'm going to run a little seafoam through the tank. I am going to drive it up and down the driveway a few times because I need to work the ATF in. But, yeah, I think we're going to wrap part 2 up after I do that. Let me just drive it around. I'll get everything set up, and we'll wrap up part 2 of this thing, because essentially the only thing I got left is the deck. So I think that'll leave a good deal for part 3. All right, y'all, we're going to end part 2 here. We've made decent progress on this thing. We went from a mower that was pretty much dead in the water. Cosmetically, it's in pretty good shape for its age. Somehow the ignition magically fixed itself. I don't know how that happened. But we also found the other problems with the hydrostatic transaxle being stuck in the disengaged position. I freed that up as good as I think it's going to get. Hopefully it will continue to free up and get better, but it is engaged and it is driving. It's running with the carb clean. The ATF fixed the left front. The right rear is a little too far gone, so we will put a tube in that. It's kind of amazing. The seat's only got one little blemish on it on the left front there, and the old ignition switch is in it still. The old starter's on it. I think I've got my money back. I have to check my bank account for that starter because it should have just gotten there. But part 3, we'll put a new secondary deck belt on it. The primary deck belt looks to be in pretty good shape. And another thing that I've noticed is that the PTO, the electric PTO, looks like the brakes on the PTO are not working anymore, or the magnets are not stopping the PTO when I switch it off. I think it's mostly because of rust. It tried to do it one time, and then after that first time it didn't do it again. So I think we're going to have to troubleshoot that, but in terms of it running and driving, we have got that sorted out, which is great. It's come a long way. It's come a long ways in a short amount of time, especially because it's been sitting for who knows how long before I got it, and been just hanging out in my garage almost a year. So we fixed the fuel system as well. So we've had to almost fix everything on this mower so far, but that's okay. We'll get mostly the deck done in part 3, and probably some work on the PTO, and that should mostly be it. Like I said, I got the fenders and everything back on it, so it looks more complete and much more safe to ride around. Obviously we'll test it out, make sure everything holds up after we get the deck sorted out, and that's when we'll pick this up. So thank y'all for watching part 2. I hope y'all have been enjoying this series on the 165 John Deere, and we still have part 3 to go. I hope you join me then, and I'll see you on the next one.